Welcome to the new episode of Ocean Sniper. Today I'm diving with a new kayak. Very excited to take this out in the sea. It's gonna be the longest test so far. I hadn't done fishing, just going out on the sea to make sure I'm used to the equipment. Here I go out, already done 2 kilometers, trying to race to the reef. The water is crystal clear, and I'm very excited about what this day will bring. Just taking out some moments here, enjoying the calmness of the open sea before I dive in and start hunting. Immediately I notice that the water is super clear, so this will be very helpful to have some good approach and try to make some ambush to those fish. Going down for the first dive of the day. I fall a bit far from the main reef, but I decide to take my chances and wait to see if something will appear. Empty. Looking a bit around, some patience. You never know when it's gonna be the moment. Start to notice some movements, but unfortunately the fish there seems to be very spooked. It's not coming near me. In the meanwhile, I hear noises from the surface, most probably the jet skis that are around. Spook the fish, and that is why the fish is not approaching. Most probably I'll have to change the spot. So up to the surface to rethink of where I will go and to reevaluate the strategy. Just a few minutes later, a boat approached to warn me about the jets, so I decide to go out, change spots so I can be calm in the fish also, to not be stressed. Already in the next spot, a nice rock that I saw in the sonar that looks to be full of fish. I'm throwing the anchor down a bit further from the rock to make sure it won't scare them away. And getting ready for the dive around 12 meters.
A long way to reach here because I initially came for a reef that I didn't find. Then I continued to another reef I knew back there, but it was full of boats and jet skis. So I was going out and I saw some images on the sonar and I said to test it. I went down and I see a nice one.
Ready to dive on the rock. You already saw the fish, now it's time to see the approach. A very bad approach actually in that case, because I thought that the rock would continue into a reef, but apparently it's a small rock, so I fell directly on top of it, with no place to hide. I stayed a bit, then observing around, the fish was very scared and was running away. They saw me coming from meters away. Not knowing what to do, I waited a bit with calm movements, looking around in case a big fish appear. Nothing, just small ones. The big ones have already gone. And I had a look on my right and see a fish hiding under. So I think, let's explore this. With calm movements, I approach. And I see that's where everybody has gone. I see a nice fish there. I shoot. And it's a clean hit right through the body. Very excited to get the first fish of the day. Not a very big one, but still really good and tasty to grill. It always feels good to get the first fish of the day. It's like opening the session. I decide to take a few more dives down there to look around the area to see if there is any other rock that is full of fish, just to know for the future if it's worth it to go back. But unfortunately, it is empty of fish, and the rocks are very small, so there is not a lot of potential. Just looking a bit around, a bit disappointing. Nope, it's not the spot for today, so I'm out already and going to the next spot, a few more kilometers away. So some really strange structures on the bottom, so I'm going down. I see something I hadn't seen before. It seems like a tube that has been sunk with weights in it. Let's explore. It might have potential. Seems a bit empty. I don't know where all these fish I saw in the sonar have gone. Most probably they were scared away. And since there is no rock to stay or hide on the side, they just disappeared. But I really think this has potential, so I'm going up already planning my next dive, thinking to continue towards the tube, because maybe there are a few more rocks that I can search. Moving to this next kind of pyramid, I noticed that there is a nice creek inside it, so this has potential for fish to hide. This one is empty, but that gives me ideas to test and try to see if the others are having anything inside. Since I went down, I wait a bit here. You never know what might approach. Sometimes you can even be lucky in open water like this, even with no place to hide. Fish can get curious. Not this time though. So going up to breathe a bit, relax, and get ready for a good dive. As I move to the next pyramid, I notice immediately the scenery is changing. There is more reef around, there is a lot of movement. So I decide to stay calm and observe, and I see there, appearing right on my right side, a sea bass. Easy shot, clean shot, and the fish is mine. I notice that the fish is almost ready to rip, so with careful movements, I secure it. And ready for the next dive because it's in 8 meters, so I'm not actually tired. I move on to the next pyramid. I see some movements inside it. I decide to check, but I give up because I don't see anything big. It's not my favorite type of fishing also, to look inside the creeks. I really like to ambush them in the open water. As I'm looking around, not expect to see a fish maybe this time, because usually I'm not that lucky dive after dive to get a fish. Not a lot of movement. So I go up to rest and get ready for another dive, moving to the next pyramid. A very nice place, very promising place. Not only combines this kind of pyramids of stone, but also a lot of rocks. So there are a lot of places for fish to hide. And for sure it's gonna be in my top spots for the future. Taking a calm dive here. And suddenly I see some movements on my right. Point my gun, ready to shoot. Easy, clean shot. And I realize it's a triggerfish. So I'm very calm, I know that it's not going to rip apart from the line. They have a very hard skin. And also very tasty meat. It's a good fish. I like to cook it in many ways, on the grill, to make ceviche, with raw fish, but also in the oven. I do one more dive before I go, and I take also a crab. And finally, I move closer to the coast just to explore a bit around. Have a reference for the future dives. But it seems to be empty. I don't see a lot of fish. But at least it's very beautiful. Sometimes it's not only about the fish, it's about the diving experience. I continue looking a bit around, mesmerized by the beauty. One more dive. See some triggerfish playing around trying to hide. Not a fish to shoot at this moment, but rather enjoy their cleverness. How it slipped under the rock. So back on the kayak, decided to call it a day, full of beautiful scenes, nice memories, and some good fish. It always feels amazing going out in the sea for a fishing session. It cleans your soul, empties the mind, and brings all that happiness of the unexpected. So stay tuned and subscribe and see you around.